Gary Kovaks, CEO and Managing Director of AVG Technologies, public company delivering to consumers security for humans. And that encompasses everything from desktop protection to privacy protection on mobile devices to family services. And we're really taking security, simplifying it, and delivering it as a set of packages that people can easily protect their online lives with. Amazing, we're here at CES, and the undercurrent for the entire security forum, which was the inaugural cybersecurity forum yesterday, is something that sold out in 4 hours, which was just sort of talks to the importance and interest in this whole space, is that it's inconceivable that any product will ever be released again that's not connected. And if it's not connected already, within the next 3 years, everything's connected. And we see here, televisions, of course, smartwatches, wearables, drones, cameras, they're all connected to the web, which puts every company in the data business. And so, us as consumers, we are tripling the number to 18 billion connected devices in the next 3 years. And so what does that do for us? What happens to our security and privacy and identity? And how do we put ourselves back in control of that? And I laid out a framework as well as some things that every member of the ecosystem that we're all participating in needs to take to be able to put consumers back in the center of it. Question about the headline of the report that MEF and AVG did together that we released 2 days ago on our website, and I know you did as well. I mean, the key piece of that is it highlights the reality that trust is the new currency. Companies will win or fail based on the trust equation that they can develop with their users. And so how do they protect that? And by recognizing that every one of them is now in the data business, that gives a new level of trust that they need to secure with their user. We need to protect the user. We need to not only protect the user, but also protect the fact that when my data leaves my ecosystem, I'm part of a broader ecosystem. Do I understand that? So the key foundational points in that report that I really liked were, first of all, 36% of us have significant concerns about our security online. And some people say, well, that's 64% that aren't concerned. No, that's 64% that aren't aware. And 36% over the last 2 years is up from almost zero. So it's a very big growth in the anxiety that we're seeing in consumers. The second part of that is about 30% of us are deciding not to do something as a result of this trust worry. So we're not using apps, or so we're making a conscious decision on apps real time based on privacy. And of course, all of that turns that just about half of us have said we would pay extra for an app that is privacy friendly. So those are some of the sentiments that we're now starting to see that are leading to this trend. I mean, and a reluctant sharer is a little bit of a tough concept, but really what the essence of that is when they start to become aware. And the reluctant part of this is they're not fully aware yet. But when they start to become aware, they're really hesitant to do something. So that 41, or I think it was 41% of people said they're reluctant sharers, that's on its way up to much higher levels. And there are people that are now starting to understand and poke at what it really means to do something. They're looking much closer at the terms and conditions of what they click, and they're really reluctant. And so the apps that come along that take away that reluctance, that build on that trust, they're the ones that we're seeing be much more successful already. It's interesting, and we're in a little bit of an unfortunate position because consumers don't know enough yet to really understand what their choices are. But they know enough now to open the paper or turn on the news every single day and see some data breach or privacy breach or some compromise. So we're a little bit in this period of motivated by fear, which is causing them to be reluctant and hesitant. They will start then to transition to being motivated by somebody doing it better, somebody having a higher trust equation. And so Apple and some of these other companies are going to start to take a position, but don't forget, they've come from the same place we all have. The security and privacy and identity of the user wasn't baked into the principles of the web 20 years ago because we just didn't know. So those that are now making them a foundation of this Internet of Things are really going to benefit from it. Now the question is really about where are we in the cycle? Are we on the up, or are we? I don't think we're on the up yet. I think we are still, I have this concept of the anxiety index, and at an enterprise level, it's like Y2K. In 1995, Y2K wasn't a high anxiety item. In 1999, it was crazy anxiety level. Consumers, from a consumer security and privacy, we are now aware. 2 years ago, we weren't aware. I mean, this has moved fast in 2 years, but we are not at the point yet where that anxiety is translating into action for everybody. I just look at the penetration of malware and internet privacy and security suites on mobiles, and we're still in the low double digits. So half of these things are free, so they should be in the high double digits, nearing 100% to download them. So We're now aware of it, we're motivated a little by fear, so I think this next 2 years is going to be an amazingly explosive time, and privacy and identity and security will just be part of everything. One final comment on that is if I fast forward probably 2 years, maybe 3 at the outset, it is inconceivable to me again to think that people will be using any mobile product without some internet security suite on it, much like the desktop became probably 10 years ago. You just wouldn't turn it on if you didn't have some antivirus suite on it.